Hello everyone, Atou here.
And Tsuyoi.
And we're back. A Gundam tale. So then, Tsuyoi was trapped in a room.
I'm still trapped in this room.
And now needs to finish clearing them out just so he can go off and save the game. And then fight the true evil.
No.
Sort of. Like, remember how I told you there was a boss fight that I fought recently that made me completely had to change up how I played the game, otherwise I couldn't win?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yes. That's, behind that one locked door.
Oh. Oh. I see where I stand now.
Okay. Also, I believe I was going over some One Piece shenanigans last time.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So you have something else to bring up before I get into that?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, I was bringing up how sea stone is like this interesting material that one could use to control devil fruit powers, fight against it, and like manipulate it, if you will. Yeah. I found out about like dials, which are these rather interesting things that seem like a pseudo bag of holding. It's just they're very specific with what they can and cannot hold. So like having a holding bag filled with a variety of dials seems like it would be rather smart to have.
Yeah, dials are really awesome.
Then I was looking at the transponder snails, and I was like, well, shoot, how do those things work out?
Huh, combine certain dials with certain devil fruits could work out really well, too.
Yeah, and, let's see, not too much new I learned about the snails, other than, like, it really is just someone picking up an animal and sticking a device to the side of it, and, like, that's how it works, more or less. It's like, you know, keep some small ones on hand. Those will help you talk on an island, and just keep a big one on the ship whenever you need to make the big calls or something like that.
The big one.
So, one of the things that came to my mind was that, and out of my memory of One Piece, when the devil fruits were like, you know, the hypest stuff. Like, you know, how does one defeat another devil user without another devil user? And then that's when
good.
And that's when CP9 made their entrance.
I mean, Nami did it.
What?
Nami defeated a devil fruit user without being one.
Huh.
She beat Miss Doublefinger. Though to be fair, Miss Doublefinger was really going easy on her. She kept mentioning she felt really bad about this, didn't really want to kill her, and you know, felt sorry for her. So I mean, it could be argued she was holding back the whole time, even though she was buffing herself and breaking through stone buildings. And Nami suffered injuries from that. Then again, you're fighting a spike person, so you better suffer some fucking injuries.
Right. In fact, I seem to remember this one scene, and it was probably an edit of some sort.
Yeah, probably.
So, where, like, double-fingered curled up into a ball of spikes, rolled into Nami, and Nami stopped her with her foot. And I was thinking, shouldn't there be a bunch of spikes just piercing through Nami's foot right now and stuff? But I saw no such scene. So,
that happened.
Yeah. So, like, I can only figure that must have been one of them edits.
Oh, yeah. Certainly was.
Wait, wasn't Usopp's face shattered?
Yes. Yes, it was.
But they didn't show that.
Bat.
Huh.
A 4-ton bat to the face. They did show that, didn't they? That's because it was comical. It's funny when Usopp breaks his face. Because, screw him.
Alright. So, anyway, so yeah, the CP9. What's the big deal about CP9? CP9 is this organization that uses a form of martial arts that literally anybody can learn that gives you superpowers. And honestly, like, if I could learn all the techniques that CP9 has to offer, I would totally, you know, forsake a devil fruit.
Not
like,
that you would have to.
Yeah, a devil fruit would only augment me. But, you know, I'm just saying, you know, if given the choice, you know, do you want ancient Chinese secret manual, or do you want ancient forbidden fruit of knowledge?
Oh, they both sound okay.
Like, do you remember the powers that CP9 has?
Let's see.
You don't? That's good, because I'm going to tell you about them, because boy did I read into them.
So then one of them involved chocolate. Cooking, super cooking powers. Like that one guy with the noodles coming out of his nose.
No, that's it.
That wasn't even a devil fruit, was it?
No, that wasn't.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah. Okay, so when I was looking into different technologies that could help me in one piece along devil fruits and stuff like that, something that I did look into was martial arts styles and things. You know, fighting techniques, if you will, because that's what CP9's thing was. It was just a fighting style.
Fight. You gotta fight good.
Yeah, and like I saw, there's a bunch of other fighting styles. Also, another thing that drew me towards fighting styles was fishman karate.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, there's this girl, so of course I take notice. There's this girl that uses fishman karate, and she's actually using water as part of it. When, as far as I can tell, for all intents and purposes, she's just a normal human.
Yeah.
And yet here she is, using, like, the aquakinesis aspects about fishman karate. And the way that works, from what I hear, is that they just use the water to send the atmosphere. So that's how they're able to use, fishman karate's made for fighting underwater.
Oh.
But in order to use it on land, they just, like, use the water that's naturally in the air.
Oh, so that's for real. I thought that was a video game thing.
Yeah, so, like, you know, I did look a little bit into it. I was like, well, I don't know, which karate style do I want? The one that lets me use water on land, or the one that turns me into an ancient Chinese master? I still need to look into the water one, because I barely got done learning about the ancient Chinese master Kung Fu. Okay, so they're known as the sixth path, with a hidden seventh path, and also I'm willing to bet a sort of hidden eighth path.
Uh-huh.
Right. So the main gimmick behind CP9's Kung Fu styles, it's all based off on ancient Chinese movies. Like, if that was stuff that could be like transformed into a fighting gimmick style, then it's like they have that.
Really?
For example, arguably their best skills they ever have, airwalking. Now, okay, like I know these moves aren't their exact names or what it's called that, but I'm just basically giving it. Yeah, skywalk. Actually, no, I believe it's called moonwalk.
Oh, right, that's called moonwalk.
Yeah.
Sanji's is called skywalk.
Yeah, Sanji's is skywalk, but it's the exact same thing. But, yeah, save, and then go, and then face your destiny.
Am I going all the way around?
Yes.
Oops, sorry. Victory lap.
Well, not quite yet.
Yeah, it's victory enough for me.
Right. So, like, the ability to walk on air, just, when I read it, it's like, all they're doing is just they're kicking the air with enough force in order to, give them height, which essentially allows them to fly, more or less, because they're literally walking on air.
I believe it's kicking the air 6 times extremely fast.
No. Like, that's not it.
Really?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's
something else, and, like, we'll get into that. So, yeah, they're literally just kicking the air.
Sail on slot 1 this time.
Okay, yeah, slot 1. They're kicking the air so hard that it's giving them lift to be able to walk on the air itself. And as Sanji displayed, it can certainly be used underwater too, just, treating the water the same as the air.
Right, blue walk.
Yeah, and, I figure, if you're trying to figure out what's that part of Chinese martial arts, like, have you ever seen a scene in a movie to where they just ran across water like nothing?
Yeah, it's called Naruto.
Well, I'm talking about, even older ninja movies, before they were ninja.
Wow.
And why are you leaving? You're gonna go, get refilled, or... Oh, wait.
Not leaving.
Huh? I thought you went to all the rooms already.
Nope.
Oh, you just decided to go a different way?
I don't know. I guess. Hello.
Okay, I thought you went to all the rooms in, order.
Yeah, no.
Well...
Apparently not.
Okay, then this may explain something I felt was a little odd.
It's like, I don't remember you fighting this group.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't remember you fighting Perfect Zeong, G. So,
G!
But now you are. So, the Kung Fu martial arts of, running along the water and stuff like that. And they just took it to this natural extreme of, oh, you can use that to run on the air if you want. Which I'm just thinking, that was like one of the best moves ever. Like, I don't care who you are, that seems like something that everybody should learn how to do.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so, there's that ancient Chinese martial art. That's path 1 or something like that. What's path 2? Yeah. And, like, apparently path 2 is the finger of death.
Death finger.
Yeah, like, I believe they called it the finger pistol. But it's this thing to where, like, they shove their finger, like, so hard that it pierces another person like a bullet. And that also comes from, like, ancient, like, Chinese films. They're basically, that monk technique of, like, the finger of death, where they just shove their finger into somebody and it kills them.
Right, like Kinshiro.
No, Kinshiro's is different, which I do want to get into, but not yet. Okay, so, like, that's, like, the finger of death, and, like, one of the things that annoyed me a little bit was how, like, because I was reading this off of Wiki, so it was, like, an article based on the move and the variants thereof involving them. And some of them seemed a bit silly to classify as variants, but I was like, okay, at least it let me knew that the techniques could be used in this way. So, there's the death finger, where you just give, like, a simple quick poke. Mm-hmm. And then there's the multi-death finger, to where you just do the poke a whole bunch of times with one hand.
Right.
Yep. And there's, like, what's it called? Not frantic, war zone? Chaotic? Catastrophe? There's a name for, like, when you do the death finger with both hands multiple times.
Oh, I think we should survive this.
Like, you just basically, like, death finger with both hands and stuff like that. It's like, so that basically told me, okay, so this can be used with either hand, and you can use it with more than one hand, and, like, you can do multiples, like, all sequentially and stuff like that. That's weird. Didn't you system crack these things?
I system cracked one of them. Yeah, odd that.
Huh. Okay. So it's like, okay, like multi-hit, like death fingers and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, well, that's neat stuff. I thought it was a funny little aside that in one of those what are those things where like Oda like addresses fan questions?
SBS.
Yeah, and his SBS that he said that those who failed in their training of the death finger often sprain their fingers.
Ugh.
Which it makes sense. Yeah. So, but then I saw that this fighting technique, it hasn't died or gone away. It has appeared in recent One Piece entries, as far as I can tell. And in fact, they showed off something that just kind of it made sense to me when the person used it in this form and fashion. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, sword fighting's a thing in the One Piece universe.
Right.
And, like, even though everyone usually will have their own sword fighting technique, there's some kind of universal techniques that you can see amongst them. For example, the air blade, where one swings their sword so hard that it creates a blade of air that just kind of shoots out and cuts the thing as if it was cut with the blade itself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it turns out that the finger poke has something like that.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah, what is the finger poke? An extremely hard and fast like poke with the finger. What is an air blade? An extremely hard and fast slice with the sword. So, by that logic, you can poke the air so hard that it creates an air bullet with your finger that just like will hit the target from a distance. And it was like,
yep.
Okay, that's a thing. That seems like a natural conclusion to what this was going towards. Yeah. And then from there, like, we have the iron body, which is like, oh, what is the iron body? It's this technique to where it tenses up the muscles to the point to where, like, it gets a density as tough as iron or something like that. It's like, okay, yeah, it's basically meant to allow people to tank blows without having to move.
Right.
But the thing is, it's more individualized in the sense, depending on how well built the own person's body is, directly correlates to the kind of attacks they're going to be tanking. Like, there's this one guy who got knocked flat by a certain attack, even though he was using iron body. Yet when this character used that exact same attack on someone else who was like arguably higher on the food chain in the order, like it did absolutely nothing to them. The Iron Body did what it was supposed to do and helped that person just tank the move like nothing. And like so it clearly shows that depending on one's body, your mileage is gonna vary when it comes to that whole tanking stuff. And that's the defense maneuver. The other maneuver that gets me is like the dodge maneuver, which I don't remember seeing coming up all that much. Then again, like I haven't seen that much of that particular arc in which these moves come up a lot.
The blow like a leaf maneuver.
Yeah, to where your body becomes wispy and wavy and like weightless, to where when anything tries to like hit you, like the air friction from the move displacing the air around you pushes you out of the way, to where like you dodge the move like nothing. And I find it funny that Luffy also has a maneuver that's similar to it. Main character of the series with like rubber fruit powers. Except the thing is, he has to enter like a serene mind kind of like calm state in order to do that for his rubber body to react that way.
It's like,
But like anybody who's just a practitioner of like the sixth path can just do it on command. They don't need to enter any kind of serene state.
Neat.
Also, there should be a okay, so all you gotta do is just save, and then you can fight the master of the area.
I should probably go back into Marie's and heal my TP.
Wouldn't be a bad... Oh, wait, yes, you should most definitely do that. I just remembered the type of person I'm talking about. Yes, you should go into this fight with full TP.
All the toilet paper to cover the mobile suit.
But there's also another effect from this maneuver which I wasn't quite aware of, and I was like, I guess that explains that, maybe? And that is, okay, so this maneuver that allows you to dodge anything, it also makes your body extremely lightweight for some reason. So, like, if you're ever wondering, like, why a person is, like, hanging in the air longer than they logically should be, it's because they're using that technique to make their body so light that it's like it's a leaf floating on the wind. And it's like, okay, so, couple that together with airwalk, and you're pretty much an aerial fighter at that point. Since you're able to, like, slow your descent and just move wherever you want.
Right.
And then, let's see, might as well give everybody, like, a full repair all. And they actually did it this time.
Yay, it did what advertised.
Yeah. And let's see,
oh man, I'm getting sleepy.
what was the other technique that was about to go in? Okay, so I
kicking?
did... no, not that one yet. Okay, let's see, the...
Life renewal?
Fifth one would be life... Oh, that's not a path.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's not. That's a completely its own separate thing.
Oh. Okay, I thought that was a path, and that's what he used.
No. Okay, now I remember okay, so like the first one I went over was the airwalk. Like the second one that I went over was the finger bang. Let's see. The third one was the iron body. The fourth one was the leaf body.
Yeah.
So the fifth one I'll go over is the speed blitz. Because that's one of the paths.
Alright.
To where a person is able to move within the blink of an eye. And just like completely like just speed around people and do stuff like that. That's the move that you were thinking of earlier. With the whole like they basically kick the ground 6 times. And stuff like that. Yeah, like they're kicking the ground multiple times in order to like move their body extremely quickly. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay. So, that's a fight of the past. And, like, it's interesting to see those paths used in combination. The one thing I kind of wonder is, like, doesn't it seem only natural that one would use iron body with the finger pistol? I mean, if you're jabbing your finger into something, wouldn't you want it to be, like, the toughness of iron or something like that?
Yeah, I can't sprain your finger if you do that.
Yeah, although one thing that I see is that when you're using iron body, you can't move your body. Except there's this one person who like developed an entire fighting style around iron body, and so he can move his body because he's using iron body. Which to me, that just seems like a natural upgrade if one is just like, studying with iron body. The ability to actually move while using iron body. And yeah, but the one that kind of impresses me the most is like the idea that so you can just skip around all about wherever in the air, and you can do it at like incredibly fast speeds to where it's faster than the eye can even perceive.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you not like speed blitz like characters by literally just jumping around in the air and like just like finger poking and stuff. And then we get into the one maneuver which I feel is like one of the most like you're got to be using the power of an enemy stand that can control wind in order to pull this ridiculous stuff off.
Hold that thought for a moment.
昨日はしゃぎすぎた皆さんレスキュー開始モーニングレスキューモーニングレスキューモーニング
辛いやつを救えウコンの力モーニングレスキュー
補充しよう
And we're back.
Yay.
Okay, so continue on, and like I'm more or less close. Oh, okay, no, I've actually gotten to like the big body portion of the 6th pass. So then we reach this one path, which is just so. When I was first reading it, I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I can read that. Until it just got ridiculous with like the things that I was seeing pulled off with it. It's like, no, you're BSing me at this point with like this maneuvers.
No, I don't believe you. It's
I mean,
impossible.
I've seen a guy go like ride clouds by attaching strings to them, and I find that more believable than the BS that I'm seeing here.
Okay, what kind of BS am I going up against? Oh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
That's deep red.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm ready.
So I want to just go in there and fight him, or you want like a little bit of advice first?
Okay, give me a little bit of advice first. I'll take it.
Okay. This boss is going to bombard you every chance it gets, for the most part, except for like a few actions in between.
I see.
So, approach it. Oh, and remember how, like, I guess to save you, like, the chance to save you the time. Remember how you told me that there was an enemy you encountered who you weren't able to debuff?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot debuff this enemy.
Okay.
System crack will not work on him.
Good to know.
So, don't have to waste time doing that, like I did in my first 3 deaths. Alright, and let's see. Oh yeah, even though the person bombards you with beams, you cannot use beam field.
Oh, okay. Why?
For some reason, beam field and chaff field, which notifies bullets, they cannot stop what this boss throws at you.
What about barrier field?
Barrier field? Isn't that a thing that affects melee only? I mean, you can throw it out, but it would be just as effective.
Okay, let's do this. This sounds like normal battle music. How weird. You're a big boy. Psycho Gundam G! Why G? What's the G stand for?
But yeah, I mean, like, just imagine my annoyance when, like, I go into this battle and it's like, oh, I've dealt with a Psycho Gundam before. Oh, it's going to boost? I know what it's going to do. I throw up a beam field and, like, I have my characters do their thing. Like, I system crack it, beam field, and yet it kills me. Like, just on the turn it unleashes its beam, like a barrage or whatever. It just utterly destroys my party until I go at it again. At some point, I learned I'm not able to system crack it. And even though I threw up, like, chaff field, which is the opposite bullets, it still didn't work. Which basically told me, like, okay, so this is how the game throws a really tough boss at you. It throws a boss that literally breaks the rules of the game.
Okay, at least it doesn't go priority before you're blocking. That would piss me off. Yeah, I've had some experience fighting these Psycho Gundams in Extreme Versus. They're pretty tough. Pretty tough. Pretty tough. Oh boy. I see where we're going here.
Okay, so you survived its first barrage. What now?
Well, let's hope this works out. You're not surviving this, oh no. That's fine. That's fine.
Ah, I see. Because in the end, I was able to come up with a really good strategy that helped me beat this guy. Although it was pretty much a battle of attrition when it came down to it. So
I see.
I'm curious to see how well you do on like first contact.
We'll see, won't we?
Yes. Oh, but also like for me to finish up my own stuff. Okay, so the other sixth path, which is probably one that's just as infamous as their walk on air, is that they can kick their leg hard enough and they can release an air slice. You know, like how like a person can swing a sword hard enough and release like a sword beam.
Ooh, that's some good damage. Huh, I didn't die.
Right. So yeah, like I release enough attack to create like a blade beam. Same concept, except they're using their leg. So it's like, oh, okay, so a slash and attack with the leg. It's fairly simple. They have different varieties of it. Like there is this one that when it was used, for some reason, it took the form of a bird. And not only was it bigger, it was apparently stronger, because this maneuver was actually able to cut through steel. When it was noted on the wiki that no other version of the maneuver has been able to do this so far. They've only cut through like stone and stuff like that. But this is the only version that actually straight up cut through steel.
I see.
Yeah. And then, like, of course, there's the spam version of it. The normal version is like you swing your leg and you throw out like a blade beam. And the spam version is like you swing your legs multiple times, which release multiple blade beams and stuff like that. Because, of course, you're able to spam the stuff. And what's notable about that is that they're smaller and they don't seem as powerful. Which I figured, that makes sense. Not doing as much as a wind-up for like a normal blade kick.
This could kill me. Oh, hey. Not so bad, not so bad. Okay, time to say goodbye to myself again. But hey, not so bad, not so bad. Fair enough.
Right. So I was like, okay, so you got your powered version, you got your normal version, and again, you got your spam version. And like this one had over like 20 different versions of what it could do.
I didn't die.
Huh.
He's gonna do it again, but I mean, I can just do this again.
For how long?
One more time after this. And I've dealt some damage to him. I don't know how much he's got, but I might be able to kill him.
If I remember correctly, he has around 40,000.
Oh, that's too bad. That's a bit disheartening.
Why is that?
I haven't been dealing that much damage to him.
Alright. So,
I need to revive.
Let's see, what have I been saying? Okay, so there's that, and there's a couple of varieties. Some I won't go into it just because of how silly it is to count it as its own thing, but others I will note, because it's worth noting down that this is what you can do with the move. One of them is that, there is like the kick version, which releases like a blade beam, but there's actually a stomp version, so where it releases like a bullet, if you will. In fact, not all that dissimilar to like the finger gun variant, where they just poke the air really hard. Yeah. Here they just stomp the air really hard, releasing like a air kick bullet or something like that, if you will.
You don't say.
Yeah, which I'm just thinking, wow, that's gonna be like one of the most messiest curb stomps ever. If someone was to like do that for a curb stomp, wouldn't you think?
Probably.
Like, I can only imagine like the air pressure coming in contact with the skull, if it would probably shatter it and like spread visceral just all over the place, because you're using a wind attack at close range.
Yep.
Yeah. So another version that I thought of, that I read about, was that that same thing, but when the person like kicks, they twist their leg a little bit, and by twisting their leg a little bit, it like creates a screw effect to where like it turns into like a spiral screw thing. To where like, oh, okay, so now not only are you kicking something in a straight line, you put a little twist on it. So now it will drill into whatever it hits. That doesn't make too much sense to me, because like the whole idea behind this maneuver, as far as I can see, is that you're using air to slice through something. What's the point of giving it like a drill effect when it's supposed to be slicing through stuff at a quick and like hard speed? But I figured, you know, yeah, whatever. It's fine. It works within its own reason. And that's when we start getting into the more ridiculous stuff that I was seeing. Like, one of the first ridiculous things that, like, I read about was that one of the dudes who was using the maneuvers, he actually, like, spammed the maneuver into the ceiling using both his arms and legs. Like, he just spammed a whole bunch of, like, these air kick maneuvers into the ceiling.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Like, and then I was like, okay, well, what's gonna happen? And then for some reason, everything that he spammed into the ceiling gained a critical mass that just caused it to fall down rain style onto the ground of, like, where it had touched the ceiling. So, like, whoever he was fighting, it, like, hurt them. Because, like, it was literally just small, little, tiny air blades raining down on him from above, from, like, all kinds of places. And it's like, that don't logic with how this move works.
Because it's all air.
This move is like, this move is just displaced air that's cutting something. Are you telling me that you somehow gave this air mass enough to keep its individual air cuts to be able to go to a certain spot, not cut through it like it should, but just a mass in a certain area, and then just rain down like it has weight when it's displaced air? Is like, okay, that's not even the most egregious of, like, the uses in this. Like, then we go into, like, the next one. So I was like, how the hell did...
That's not even the worst!
Yeah.
Hey, I did it!
Holy shoot, you killed it on your first try?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's what I get for giving you, like, the most important tips about this battle. Block, essentially. Okay, want to know what I had to do in order to defeat this thing?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Fritz has a maneuver that makes him perfectly invincible.
Really?
Resner has it too, by the way.
Double shield.
Yes, double shield.
Wow.
I set Fritz up to where, like, he would be constantly charging his energy, like, when he's in the front. I gave him double shield. Yeah,
okay,
go on. It's okay to go on forward. And, like, whenever the enemy did one of his beam barrages, I would just have him, like, do double shield to perfectly nullify him from any damage.
Is it easy to do or something?
Yeah, it's just 4 energy.
Wow.
And, like, since he was, like, constantly getting energy in the front, he was either charging or doing double shield, and very rarely healing people. But what the main goal behind this was that your other 2 characters are going to block normally, unless you have Resner. Then you have 2 people double shielding and invincibility. And the idea was that even if you got hurt pretty badly when you're defending, you would be able to switch out your members with the reserve members. Those members would have full health and be able to tank the next wave of attacks.
I see.
Yeah. And then you just had someone like, who didn't take any damage actively heal the other party members while they actually bother to attack the thing. And that's the strategy that's generally that I use in order to beat that guy after I lost like 4 times in a row because he broke the rules. And that I had to rely on something that you've had ever since the very beginning of the game. I've always imagined using that strategy like in the past. I just never had a reason to because I just blitzkrieg the enemy. But the whole thing of going in there, invincibility yourself through the enemy's barrage, and then countering with your own barrage while then invincibility through that again, and switching out members to like refill and have higher health and stuff like that. Like, that's generally how I got through that fight.
Huh.
So I just find it interesting that your crew was set up so well enough that all you had to do was know that, okay, block everything. And like you got through that fairly well. Like, shoot, I remember having to use items to like restore like Ono's TP just so he could like full heal people and keep them going.
I did do that. Well, no, I used a TP once or twice. I mean, I used an item.
Yeah, I think I used like 4 to 5 of mine for Ono. Yeah, so you did real good beating that boss on your first try with like the minimal information I gave you. Okay, so yeah, so there's this one guy who apparently can transform into a tiger or something like that. So he has a tail, and what he does is that he swings his tail in a way in order to create the leg beam thing. But because of the way he swung his tail, he makes the air blade spiral in on itself to create a miniature air blade tornado that flies outwards. It's slow, but it still has the property of its air bladeness, so like it will do damage, and it will also pull others into it. To where I'm just thinking, you just went the exact opposite of what this move was supposed to do. A quick, high, like, speed slash that, like, displaces air. Somehow you hit the air in such a way to where it's slow-moving and acting like a tornado that's cutting stuff as it absorbs it.
Okay, so a very versatile air control move.
Right, and that's not even the worst of it. Like, so
I'm done here, right?
Let's see. You got all the items, and yes. Did you equip the new stuff you got? It was just like a gun, and what else?
Some option parts.
Ah.
So I can't get those yet.
Okay. But yeah, like you're done there. So like head on back to Marie's, and just start outfitting yourself. You've pretty much done like all the extra side stuff that you can do before like continuing on. Oh no, wait. There is actually one more thing you can do.
Don't you dare tell me it's fight tall geese.
It's that time.
No! I can't go back!
With what you're able to do, you're now ready.
No, I'm not. It's a lie. It wasn't that long ago I tried.
Well, now you're ready, because like I did it myself and I was able to pull it off.
Oh,
And-
so it's possible.
Yes, like, you know, also I did kind of use the same strategy that I used against the other thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, invincibleness.
Yeah, but, you know, if you just do what you did with your blocking, you'll probably be, like, just as fine and stuff. But, yeah, you're ready to take it on. But still, I'm not done talking about the ridiculous stuff. I want to get it out there in the one episode.
Okay.
Okay, so, like, you go and, like, you know, you upgrade and switch mobile suits and equip parts and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, you do you. So, like, then we get into, like, the most ridiculous version of the move that I think I've ever seen. I mean, like, we've seen it turn into little beams that gain mass and, like, you know, fall and rain on opponents, tornadoes and stuff like that. So, there's this one dude who, when he used his version of it, it literally bounced on the ground towards its target and hops.
What? What?
Yes.
Was it the Kabuki man?
No, it was the wolf guy.
Oh. Straight up wolf guy.
Yeah, wolf guy.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
A weirdo.
Yeah, like, he just, like, for some reason when he did his, it literally just bounced along the ground until, like, it, not hit his opponent because, you know, it's not the blade beam at all with the leg. It's literally this thing you see bouncing along the ground. I mean, it has to take that time to make that arc and that bounce in order to, like, go and stuff. So, okay, so there's that. And then, like, there's the worst version of all that I've seen of it. Well, okay, it's not the worst version, it's just that it feels like the complete and exact and total opposite of the move. Like, that what we started out with. Like, how did we get from here to here? Like, how did we just end here?
Why are we here?
Okay, and it's the wolf dude again.
Oh boy.
Okay, so he did the same maneuver, except here's how it went down. He did a maneuver to where he was in the air, and he did like the kick for the blade beam. And when he did 4 blade beams at once. However, they were the bouncy versions.
Oh boy.
So, like, imagine like a little marching army of like the blade beams, like 4 of them lined up all side to side, that he just released all at once with one kick, and they're literally bouncing in the air as little arcs. But that's not the end of it. For some reason, somehow, when they were bouncing through the air in their arcs, they took the vague shape of wolves.
Uh-huh.
Yes, this guy, with the air kick maneuver, shaped air into the shape of wolves that bounced in the air towards their target. And I will say this, because of how strange this all was, most likely, they had not the effect of cutting whatever their target was, because they certainly weren't moving fast enough to do that now at this point. Once they hit their target, whatever that was, they just exploded on contact. So, oh, yeah, Dragon Fang can't be used with Death Cloak, unfortunately. And that's where we got. That's the most extreme version that I've seen so far of that thing. To where we went from, oh, I kicked my leg so hard and quick, I created like a blade beam with the wind, to I kicked my leg in a certain way with my toes just in the correct jutsu position in order to release an air wolf that bounced along in the air. 4 of them at once that exploded once they hit their targets.
You have no idea how many centuries it took of people figuring out this crap. Just kicking your feet around until eventually one day.
Yeah, I mean, how ridiculous is that?
Pretty dang ridiculous.
Just like, god dang. And I feel like I'm liberal sometimes with the things that I do One Piece wise, but to just see how liberal One Piece is with its own stuff at times. And like, I can kind of get it, the idea of like, oh, it's compressed air, so like when it explodes, it's going to be effective. It's more of a bomb than a cutting tool. But the thing is, you're using a method that was meant to cut the air to make this thing happen to begin with. So, it's just, why? Why couldn't it have been like some other maneuver or something like that?
Wow, I just realized with these vampire wings and these like those ear things on him, kind of has a bat theme going on.
And I like the spikes you have going on the sides of the shoulder pads to really add to that count look.
The hell happened, Fritz? How'd this happen all of a sudden? Can't call you the Crimson Wing anymore, though.
You got even edgier.
Yeah, I know. How'd that happen?
Okay. But yes. Oh, and then, like, this thing's called the 6 paths. And that was all 6 of them. That's all 6 of the maneuvers right there. Walk on air, blade beam with your legs, punch so hard with your finger that you're a bullet, steal your body to where it's like iron, make your body so light that it's like a leaf to float and dodge anything, and just move extremely fast. All of these powers by themselves, they honestly sound like they could be a One Piece fruit in of themselves. But no, this is just a martial arts that anybody could learn if they try hard enough. And you know what I find is the really big kicker when I say that? Remember Kobe?
Yes.
Yeah. When I was looking through the whole thing of like, okay, who knows these martial arts maneuvers? And obviously, like, the people in Cypher Pole 9, like, know them and stuff like that. Some other Marines have, like, shown various uses of them. But when it said, like, who uses all of these maneuvers? Time skip Kobe.
All of them?
All of them.
What the hell?
I was like, you're telling me Kobe is a martial arts badass that has all of these maneuvers at his disposal? Well, god dang, did you level up, didn't you, Kobe?
He tried, really. He trained under a very, very good trainer.
No, if that's the case, then it's like, yes, like, I'd say, like, god dang, are you a top tier character now? In fact, I wouldn't put it past him to know the secret 7th maneuver. Because, of course, like, a fighting style known as the 6th pass has a secret 7th path. Right? Actually, now I'm thinking about what thing of martial arts is to where, like, you kick your leg so hard you create, like, an air beam.
No clue.
Oh, well.
Maybe, like, that crazy puppet thing I showed you, Kalpili?
Yeah.
Maybe something from there.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it's just, like, a natural conclusion kind of thing. Because, the thing that I remember seeing noted was that Kobe, although he can do, like, the maneuver of, like, kick the air hard enough you create an air beam, he doesn't use his legs, he just uses his arms. And I was like, of course you could use your arms for it.
Why wouldn't you be able to do that?
Exactly. But, So, like, the secret 7th maneuver, you know, the secret sauce that puts it all together,
Oh, delicious.
once you've, like, mastered the other 6
Yeah, make me
maneuvers,
hungry.
is probably the most infamous, like, you know, Chinese, like, you know, martial arts move ever.
Uh-huh.
The 1-inch punch.
Ah, yes, of course. That's the,
I'm not quite sure what it is. I haven't seen it myself. Most of these I haven't seen myself, except for like the leg maneuvers, because some of them I was having really tough time trying to imagine how does that look. And luckily, someone actually put out a video showing off all the kick maneuvers that were ever used and stuff like that, to where I was actually able to see them. Like, they were kind of quick and they went by fairly fast. And a lot of them look the same because, you know, most of them are just like variants on the same thing. And sometimes it's hard to even tell what was the difference when one person was using it compared to another. But it was out there, and like I was able to glance that. But you know, I'm just gonna link it like in the description of the video, to where if like people want to see these crazy kick maneuvers and they haven't seen One Piece in a while, and they just want to be reminded how ridiculous things got with this one particular kick maneuver, well, there you go. But anyways, yeah, the most infamous martial art move ever, to where like your fist is like an inch away from an object, but yet in that brief space you were able to strike it with such ferocity that you were able to completely obliterate it. And apparently, what was his name? Rob Lucci, I think that's his name. I remember that name popping up quite a bit. That because he mastered the 6th path, he was able to master that special secret 7th path. That is apparently really effective, because it nearly killed Luffy when he used it on Luffy, from what I remember reading. And I was like, wait, Luffy? The guy who's like impervious to like physical attacks and stuff like that? It's like, yes, for some reason, this 1-inch punch maneuver was able to punch with such brute force that it was able to nearly one-hit kill the Rubber Man.
Yeah, that is really freaking weird.
And I was like, dang, that's powerful. And it wouldn't surprise me if Kobe had that kind of power behind him. Because the moment you told me that Kobe already had all 6 paths behind him, I can just easily believe, yes, you know, give him the 7th path, well, what have you.
Why not?
Yeah, and that's like, you know, from everything I've described with everything can be done with these paths, can you see why, like, if someone gave me a choice of, do you want CP9's martial arts, or do you want a Devil Fruit? Well, I would probably jump at CP9's martial arts.
Yeah, you could just have it without having to train for it. It's like, here, take this or this. It's like, oh, well, yeah, I'll take that. But if you just, you know, hand me a Devil Fruit and tell me what it is, if you hand me Kuma's fruit, or say, this trainer will train you in these martial arts, I'll say, screw you, I'm taking the fruit.
Okay, I can understand that situation. And honestly, when it came to Kuma's Devil Fruit, that would be a tough decision for me.
I might be able to push the knowledge of how to do it out of people.
Right. Like, that could be quite handy. But, so, okay. So, seeing how ridiculous that is. And I look forward to seeing Fishman Karate, because once it basically told me that Fishman Karate allows water maneuvers to be used on land, I was like, well, shoot, I'm never disarmed in that case, am I? If I can just water sword out of the air. But I don't know if it gets to that point.
Also, you know, you can also drink water wherever you go. You'll never be want for thirst unless you're in a desert, where you'll really need it.
Yeah, that will certainly make that maneuver handy. Then, of course, you know, one of my ideals is, like, I would just carry a water dial on hand. You know, like, they would have, like, a lot of water in it.
I assume it's more of a liquid dial than a water dial. Like, you could probably do more than just water.
Yeah, that's true. But one of the things noted about dials is they hold an abnormal amount of, like, whatever it is they can hold. So, like, maybe enough to, like, keep a party from going thirsty for a good while.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, the one thing that I feel that this was all building up to, that you mentioned a little while back, was that, and that I brought back, was that, okay, so if this is really just super ancient Chinese kung fu martial arts, like being exaggerated and shown as a one-piece fighting style, is there anything else that's super ancient Chinese martial arts that could probably be thrown into there with that, and it would make sense, because look at the other ridiculous stuff that they've done? You basically confirmed to me that it can be a thing, because someone else was already doing it.
Which one was that?
The pressure points. Like,
shoot, you know, oh, you don't even, yeah, okay, I see where you're going with that. I'll let you know right now, ninjutsu is real. There is a land of samurai and ninjas, and ninja magic is real.
are the ninjas at war with the pirates?
No. They stick to themselves. Even the world government fears that country.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome, but here's my main idea, because, you know, this has gone on for quite a bit. Are you actually done making all your adjustments and upgrades and stuff?
Pretty much. I could try setting, like... you know,
Like,
yeah,
did you
pretty
give
much
someone the death side?
No.
Oh.
No one on my team needs it. It's not as powerful, even upgraded, as some of their things.
Really?
Wait. You know what? That's a good point. You know, really? That's immediately a good point.
Because, like, the death side is, like, the most current mobile suit you're able to get at this point. I would imagine its stats are quite up there. And I'm wondering, are you comparing base, non-equipped stats
yes,
with...
I am.
Okay. Well, it's not something we have to do right now, because I just want to get this point across and we can, like, do this off camera.
Okay.
Like, I'm just saying that, like, I remember Avatar, in which how it was so neat that there was actually a fighting style to where by pushing someone's pressure points, you could disable them in various ways. You know, push these pressure points to where they can't maneuver their arm, push these pressure points to where, like, they can't move their body or something like that. And I'm just wondering, how is that ancient Chinese kung fu fighting style not a thing in CP9? And, like, some would probably argue, because they would just win automatically if they were to do that. And you know what my immediately thought was?
What?
Wouldn't work on Luffy.
But with that other thing, it might.
What other thing?
The double-inch punch thing.
Like that, don't you mean the 1-inch punch?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the 1-inch punch works on Luffy. The finger bullet works on Luffy. But, you know, this is a thing where you're specifically pressing pressure points, like, on a body. So I imagine that's more of a blunt force kind of thing, more than a piercing kind of thing. So I just figured, okay, Luffy would just be immune to that stuff. But anyone else out there who actually gets their pressure points pushed, it should do stuff to them. So, based on everything I described, doesn't it seem like that the whole pressure point thing should actually be part of the 6th pass? I mean, you already told me that there was someone else that actually was using pressure points, it's just they were using it on themselves.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, fair enough.
So, yeah, like, I don't feel bad about, like, you know, trying to argue that. You know, it's like, oh, you know, they learned the CP9 fighting style, but they incorporated this path or something. I guess at that point, it would become the 7 pass? Or, like, would it be the 6 pass plus 1?
Whatever they wanted to call it, honestly. You gonna argue with someone who can do that crap?
No, no, I'm not gonna argue with someone who can do that stuff. Okay, but anyways, I believe that's all the One Piece stuff that I just wanted to get out there about some of the ridiculous things that would almost make one wonder, why would I want a devil fruit when I can have this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and on that, I'll leave off on the note that they have Super Sentai suits that give superpowers now.
Ah, yes, that.
I look forward to delving into that
Sanji's family.
whenever, like, I get a chance to look more into it. And apparently Wapple may be the source of it.
Huh. Maybe.
Yeah, mull that over. So anyways, you're gonna, like, go through this stuff. And when we get back, we'll continue the assault on the moon base to, like, defeat Gabriel. Who is he again?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know who this Gabriel guy is. Well, we just acted like we didn't know him. Who's Gabriel? I don't know who you're talking about. I'm going to destroy the world. Never heard of you.
Huh.
Why are you here then?
For some reason,
taking
I'm
a
just
stroll.
like imagining like we get up there, he's standing right in front of us, like, I'll destroy the world, and someone just goes like, what's with this sassy dude? Is he lost?
What's with this sassy lost child?
Okay. So, anyways, thanks for sticking around, and like we'll pick this up in the next episode.
See you later, everybody.